Hi, and welcome to Positively Sparking, podcasts on internet marketing, online business, entrepreneurship, and digital living. Today I'm with Emmy Carmichael, Marketing Account Director with Modern and proud new mum to her 6.5-month-old daughter. Today we're going to be chatting about parenthood in the social media age. So hey Emmy, how are you?
I'm doing really well, Phil. How are you?
I'm doing really good. It's a pleasure to have you here in Cornwall.
Oh, thank you very much. It's beyond a pleasure to be here. I can't quite believe that this place exists. It's gorgeous.
One of many beautiful places in the world, we have to say that.
Yes, I agree. I do agree.
So, Emmy, I'm delighted to have you on the podcast. Not only are you perhaps the most naturally gifted social media marketing person I know, but you're also a new mum as well. And
yes.
This podcast, I probably would have had you on anyway to talk about some of the things you do in web marketing. Mm-hmm. But this podcast lets us talk about motherhood online as well. And that's what we're going to talk about today.
Okay.
So for those of us who don't know you, don't have that pleasure yet, tell us who you are and what you do.
Well, my name is Emmy Carmichael, and I'm currently on maternity leave. But when I am working, I am an account director at a marketing agency. And we work mostly with technology companies. And so we do a lot of we do marketing with a lot of quite complex products, which is it's always extremely interesting and really exciting. And we work with some really game-changing clients as well who are, it might sound cheesy to say it, but they have the potential to really leave an impact on the world. So it's a really rewarding thing to do. And I also, full-time at the moment, of course, I'm a mum, which I think no matter how much you prepare for, you can never really be ready. And it's it's the hardest job I've ever done, and it's the best job I've ever done. So that's kind of how I'm spending all my time at the moment, 24 hours a day, momming all the time. And
there you are. You answered the next question I was going to ask you, which is harder? And you said, being a mom is the hardest thing you've ever done, and it's also the most rewarding.
It really is. I think because the stakes are so high. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think with marketing is absolutely challenging in it because it changes almost every day. But being a mom, it's like you're shaping this person, which is super cool too. Because I think, me and my husband will probably raise a pretty cool person. But I don't know. I've never cared about something in my life so much, and I'm a pretty passionate person, so that's saying something. She's just, you would actually just do anything for this tiny being, and you do anything. The things you find yourself doing, oh my word.
Game changing of a different kind.
Yes, yeah? Exactly. Nailed it.
So let's go into talking about being a mom in the online world. What is it like to be a mom in the days of social media?
You know, it's for me because I was so involved in social media before I became a mom. When my daughter arrived, it was then very much a case of me just continuing to do the same things, but including my daughter. So I'm on social media every day, sometimes all day, every day. I use multiple platforms. I use Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram. Those are probably the main four. And initially, I kind of did all the same things, and I was just as active. But I involved my daughter, of course, because she was always there. But that did change. A few weeks in, I think, I kind of realized what was at stake. And so I kind of changed tack. And I think we'll probably cover that a little bit more later on in the interview. But I would say initially it didn't really change anything. My habits remained the same.
You just had this wonderful being to share.
Yeah, such. Exactly. And I was so excited to share her because she's so awesome.
And did you find, with such a life-changing event, was the social media involving your daughter more liked, more popular? Did it make a difference?
It made a massive difference. I think in terms of being more popular, it was almost exponentially more popular. And it's not that, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I had some pretty popular posts before she arrived. But I think it's something that everyone can relate to some extent. So many people have children or are trying to have children, and it's just, I don't know, new life is a pretty special thing. It's so innocent, and even when they like learn to chew their fist, it's like a big deal. Like, yay, she can chew her own fist. And so the reactions were were just really lovely. I think it seemed people really genuinely cared about them. And you get lots of people just rooting for you, which I think in the early days of motherhood is really important, because it can often feel like you're kind of, in the middle of the night at 2 a.m. and you're feeding, and you kind of feel like you're in the trenches and you're alone. Um, it's just nice to feel like that community is still around you, no matter where they are in the world. It was really nice.
Wonderful. So did you know before your daughter was born that you wanted to share her life on social media? Was that a conscious thing you thought about, or did it just happen?
It just happened, and that's a slight regret of mine. So if I could give a new parents or soon to be new parents some advice, it would be to really think about this before your little bundle of joy arrives and you're sleep deprived and you've got a million things going on. I wish I had done that first, because actually what happened was I didn't think about it. I very much continued openly sharing about my daughter on every platform. And about a few weeks in, and maybe even 4 to 6 weeks, it was a while, my husband finally said, I think we should have a chat about what we're sharing and who we're sharing it with. And he wanted to lock it down a little bit more. Because of course we are the guardians of her privacy. So until she's old enough to do that for herself, we have to do it for her. And initially, as soon as he said that, it was like a punch to the chest, because I was like, yes, you are so right. And I almost wished I could suck everything out of the ether that I had been putting out into the world. But better late than never. And so I went through and called. I decided to stick to 2 platforms that I was going to control very tightly. I called a bunch of people on Facebook that were more acquaintances or people I had met through my professional life. And I locked down my Instagram account as well. And I had a really heavy call on Instagram. I really only let a few people follow me, and they're really like relations or close friends and stuff. So I have a couple of places that I feel safe enough sharing pictures of my daughter, which is, I think, really important, because the last thing I want is for her to one day, realize there are pictures of her all over the internet and she has no control over that. So that would be really, I would feel very badly about that.
Absolutely. And it's all so much new ground, isn't it?
Yeah.
Your daughter's the first generation to really have the potential to spend all of her life on social media. So you're making these decisions which there are no guidelines for.
Yeah.
You're the pioneer almost.
I know. Isn't that terrifying? Can you believe
absolutely.
it? I don't want to do it. I want there to be social norms already that I can just follow. But at the same time, I think it's very exciting for her. And also, I'm also slightly wary about that, because I think I say this a lot, that I always say I'm so glad social media wasn't around when I was going through my sort of awkward, tweenage or teenage years, because it can be really brutal. And that's something that she's going to, I don't know, maybe she'll breeze it. Maybe by then it will be so, ubiquitous that it's obvious what to do, and there will be controls in place that mean we can mitigate what happens. Oh, I can hear her in the background. You might be able to hear her.
Yes.
She has. She knows we're talking about her. But it's scary. So it's exciting, because I can't wait to see what social media will become. It's still in its infancy, like you said, in so many ways. But it's also it's something I say to my husband again and again. This is something we're really going to have to keep an eye on, and just make sure that we can keep her as safe as possible while that's still our responsibility, and help her discover that world as safely as possible. It's really important.
Totally. Yeah, and there is that safety part, and then also, you being originally American, I'm sure people have heard your accent there, your beautiful accent.
That's a giveaway.
And so, being an international family, social media is this great benefit as well. It allows people far, far away to feel more involved in your daughter's life.
It is so important. It's so helpful, and I really couldn't imagine life without it, because my parents still live, back home in America. My brother and his wife live over there, and we're very close. All of my extended family. I have a huge family, Phil. We might even be related. I'm related to everyone. And it seems it makes it so effortless for my family to see her growing, and that's so it's just, again, it's such a lovely and important feeling. Ideally, my parents would live next door, but but it's just so great because I share pictures of her almost every day, if I'm honest. Just little things of, her trying a cucumber or, things that seem fairly mundane. And, the people that are listening probably wouldn't be that interested in it. But of course, her grandma and grandpa are just, they love it, and they're always sending texts and asking for videos and things as well. And so it's just, I think it's absolutely crucial in terms of being an international person, but really anywhere where there's distance in a relationship. I think social media it just makes it easier. I mean, it doesn't have to be, Chicago to Bristol. It could be,
Yeah,
it could be
it could be. It's
Cornwall
like
to London. Yeah.
absolutely. Facebook is the only platform my mum has really jumped on board with, and the big reason is her grandkids.
Yep.
That's
So
what
great,
drives
isn't
it.
it? Yeah.
It is. And at this time of year, Christmas coming, it's just even more important and more special, isn't it? Because of the seasonal moment that we're in.
Exactly. It's so true. And this is my daughter's first Christmas coming up. It's going to be just a picture extravaganza, Phil. Batten
I
down the
bet.
hatches. The pictures are coming.
And so, talking about those pictures which are incoming, what was your favourite social media platform before you became a mom?
Definitely Twitter, without hesitation. I was on Twitter all day, every day. The things I loved about it were that it was really open. So I liked that everyone could kind of see everything. You can lock Twitter down, of course, but I never did. And I also loved that that you were forced to put your message into a small space. 140 characters isn't very much. And I loved the challenge of how that made me shape what I wanted to say. So, and I also loved, I think people on Twitter are really keen to, if you reach out to somebody and talk to them on Twitter, you're very likely to get a response. I think the people on Twitter are on Twitter because they want to be interacted with. Whereas in other platforms like LinkedIn or Facebook, if you reach out to somebody you don't know, it might have a different feeling. They might be a little bit more hesitant to engage with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I always think of Twitter as being the in-the-moment social media.
Yeah.
So, a Facebook post or an Instagram post can have quite a long shelf life, 2 or 3 days.
Absolutely.
Whereas a tweet, it's gone in an hour.
Yeah.
It's disappeared. And it's also a very business-focused platform as well, perhaps in lots of ways. So I'm guessing that now, as a mum, your favourite social media platform may have changed.
Yeah.
For reasons of privacy and the length of the post that you can perhaps put up there.
Yep, that's exactly right. So I spend most of my time on Facebook and Instagram now. When I go back to work, that will change. I'm sure I will readopt Twitter as one of my, heavily used platforms. But strictly because of privacy, the Facebook privacy controls, once you wrap your head around them, are excellent. And I have some incredibly tight, privacy groups set up. If I just want to share stuff with my mom and dad and brother and his wife, there's a setting for that. Or if I want to open it up to aunts and uncles, there's a setting for that. And so it gives me, I say complete control, and I know that that's not true because once something is online, it's out there, really. But I love that about Facebook. I feel like I can, to some extent, protect my daughter as much as I can while still sharing her progress with my awesome family.
Fantastic. So we keep coming back to that point of protection.
Yeah.
And you've already given some great advice for mums out there who are going to go through all of this themselves. Is there anything else you want to share with them?
I think for anyone that, the main thing that I would advise, I did say before, was that think about it first. So think about what you're going to share and how you're going to share it, and agree it with your partner, because that's really important and they should be involved in that. And I'm guilty of often steaming ahead with something without consulting anyone because I get a bit excited. But also I would say, I would encourage people to not be afraid to use social media. I think I have a couple of friends that share absolutely nothing, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's absolutely fine. But if you have people that you love, that you're close, that you have a close relationship with, but you're not physically close to in terms of distance, it's so wonderful to be able to share, those little everyday moments with them. So, it's different than when you go and visit somebody maybe once a year or once every 6 months and you say, so what are you up to? And you're like racking your brain and, oh, started walking, whatever, 3 months ago. But it's different because I don't know, when you meet up with those people, they'll say, oh, I saw her trying her first cucumber, or, oh, I saw her, sitting in that new little chair. It was really cute. And it just seems like they're really involved day to day. And that is incredibly precious to me. Because I don't see a lot of my family that often, but I feel like they get to see my daughter every day, which is awesome.
The ability to share is what social media is all about, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
That involving people in the moments of our life.
Yeah, exactly.
So would you say it's better being a mum in this great age of the web?
Yeah, I would. I mean, I would say that, wouldn't I? I've never been a mum in any other age, but I wouldn't change anything. So far, it's been great. I love the flexibility of the platforms, and like you said, it's all about sharing, and it makes it so easy. And just, I can't imagine, having a baby and living, an 8-hour flight from my parents in the 50s or 60s, when it was all expensive long distance phone calls and that was it. I don't think I'd be very good at that. I think it's brilliant, and I think everyone should go and have babies, and then everyone should go on social media.
There we go. And so you're going to go back to work very soon. That's
very
going
soon.
to be a big change again.
Yeah.
What do you think will change in the way that you do your web marketing job?
I've never been, I think productivity is going to be the number one thing. And it's not, I don't feel that I was unproductive before I had a baby, but I've never, when my daughter goes down for a nap for 45 minutes, I could like write a novel in that time. I can't believe how much I get done. Like, as soon as she's down, I'm like, right, do everything, do 6 loads of laundry, do the dishwasher, wash the floor. I mean, it's unbelievable. You become a tornado. And I think the time that I'm away from her, it's really important that I'm productive in that time, because I don't really want to be away from her, right? So I have to make the best of that, and get as much done as I possibly can. So I think my focus is going to become even more extreme, which I'm sure my boss will love. And also, I'm really I've always loved my job, and I'm really excited to go back, but it's going to make both my time with my daughter and my time at work even more precious, if that makes sense, because I miss my job. I love going into the office. I miss my coworkers. I miss the work, it's a glorious place to just be constantly curious and hunting new ways of doing things and learning about new technology. And it's really an exciting place to be. But then I'll also be so grateful for the time that I get to spend with my daughter. Because at the moment it's 24/7, which is amazing, but it's going to give me an opportunity to really miss her. I'm sure there will be tears at first when I drop her off at nursery. There will be tears. But I think it will make me I don't know quite what the right word is. Not more impassioned. It's going to make me, I think, a little bit more of a fierce marketer, I guess, is the word I would choose.
Look out, world. A fiercer Emmy.
I probably don't seem very fierce in this interview, do I?
It also sounds to me like you just said that the best productivity hack is to have a baby.
Oh, yeah. Just do it. I mean, don't have a baby if you don't want to have a baby, but I'm telling you, the minute she goes down for her nap, I'm like, right, time to conquer the world. I've got 45 minutes, maybe 60 at a push.
So for anyone who wants to find out more about you, what you do, wants to chat with you about your productivity hack recommendation there, where can we find you online?
The easiest place is probably on Twitter. I still check my Twitter every day. It's at Emilia Beth, which is EMILIABETH. I would love if someone wanted to chat about social media. I just love talking about it, as you may have noticed. Or do feel free to reach out to me on Facebook too. I check my private messages on there all the time. And you would just search for Emmy Carmichael and look for a picture of a smiling lady holding a baby with lots of hair. You'll know that's me. And I'm also on LinkedIn. If you search for Emmy Carmichael, and the name of the business that I work for is called Modern. Just one word. You'll find me on there as well. So those are probably the 3 best places.
Fantastic. It's been so good, Emmy, to chat with you about this new age in civilization. being a mom on social media.
It was really fun. They were great questions. It really got me thinking. So yeah, thank you very much for having me. It was great.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Take care.
My name is Phil Byrne, and I'd like to thank you for listening today. If you have any questions on anything you have heard in today's podcast, feel free to email your queries to podcasts@positivesparks.co.uk. We are an online advertising team who strive to help you thrive online. Want to know where to start with pay-per-click for your business? Download our free online advertising pack at positivesparks.co.uk/pack. Until next time, goodbye.